So the NBA's been back for a week now, and I'm not gonna lie, there's been a lot of things to celebrate. Except, my Detroit Pistons. Because, holy fuck, do they suck. Holy shit! I'm fine. Everything's fine. We are all good. But one of the teams that has been standing out to me the most has been the Charlotte Hornets, as they have been able to go 3-0 for the first time in franchise history. And even though losing a close game in overtime last night to the Boston Celtics, there has been a lot to celebrate when it comes to everything that they've been doing down in Charlotte. And today I want to talk about whether or not that actually seems like it can last, whether or not this is a team that has aspirations to make it deep in the playoffs. And with that, let's get right into it. But of course, first, be sure to click that subscribe button, because here at From Half Court, this is a channel all about basketball. So we are going to be diving in all season long, talking about different teams, different players, different scenarios. And if you like that, you want to be sure to click that subscribe button. You don't want to miss a minute of it. And with that, let's get right into video. Historically speaking, the Charlotte Hornets have been one of the worst franchises in the NBA. Heck, they've given the Pistons a pretty good name over the past 10 years, because holy crap has this franchise just been dog shit. But now, all of a sudden, this team is 3-0. They have a young core that is promising, and they have a future that is only looking brighter and brighter by the day. And today, we're going to be talking about the 3 reasons why. The first reason is Lamelo Ball. In his second season in the league, Lamelo Ball is already making an impact right off the bat. He was the Rookie of the Year last year, deservedly so in my opinion, and now he is showing why he is one of the most promising young players in this league and one of the rising stars that we have in the NBA. Through 3 games, he's been able to average 22 points, 6 assists, 5.7 rebounds on 50% shooting. He has been absolutely light out and has been showing why he was drafted in the top 3 last year. The thing that stands out about Lamelo Ball when you watch him play basketball is just how much he opens up for his teammates and how much he opens up in the offensive end. Just his ability to score, his ability to pass. He's a really streaky shooter, and when he is on, he is on. And he's shown to shoot deep from the 3-point range, borderline pulling up from the logo from time to time. Lamelo Ball was criticized for his 3-point shooting coming into the league, but he's been able to shoot it so far through 3 games at 50%. And one of the things that's being overlooked about LaMelo's game as well is just his ability to play on the defensive end too, just how versatile he is, how you can switch him on multiple players, and he's even averaging 2.3 steals per game as well. When LaMelo Ball looks engaged and when he looks interested on the defensive end, he can actually make a real impact. Now, if there's one genuine hole in his game that I can point at, it's that sometimes he doesn't make the greatest decisions when it comes to situations late in game, especially when it comes to shooting the ball. If you watched that game last night against the Boston Celtics, there were some possessions where Lamelo Ball came down the court and just pulled up and shot it from 3. Now, don't get me wrong, I love that kind of confidence, especially from my young star, but you don't need Lamelo Ball going out there shooting so many threes that he's going to eventually shoot you out of the game and allow Boston to come back and win it in overtime. Again, this is still a young Charlotte Hornets team. This is still a Charlotte Hornets team, so they are very much in a situation where they just have to grow and they have to learn from their first loss of the season. But with a 3-0 start and a lot of promising reasons to look at this team and see, okay, there has been a lot of improvement so far. Lamelo Ball has certainly been at the center of it and is certainly going to be one of the most promising young players in the league, and certainly someone I'm going to be watching very closely this upcoming season. Another reason for the Charlotte Hornets' success, you have to look at Miles Bridges, because man, this fellow Michigan native can ball. Miles Bridges has clearly been the star of the league so far in these first 4 games, and he even won the Player of the Week for the Eastern Conference for the opening week of the NBA. And there's been clear reasons why, averaging 25 points a game in his first 3 games on 54% shooting. He has been extremely efficient, shooting 60% inside the perimeter and 44% beyond the 3-point line. This guy is shooting career highs in 3-point percentage and also taking a career high in attempts, averaging at least 6 attempts per game from the 3-point line. And every single shot that he's taken so far has looked like money, and his shot looks way better, man. I mean, his shot has improved each and every year, but to see his percentage improved so far on a higher volume as well is something that you absolutely love to see. And I'm not going to lie, I was flat out wrong about Miles Bridges. I never saw the hype around him. I knew that he had some amazing intangibles as far as his athletic ability goes, but I didn't know that he could be this. Because, oh my God. Now, it is crucial to keep in mind that they've only played 4 games so far, and that he still has a long ways to go. And the question is can he keep up at a clip like this? The answer is that it's very possible because he is very young, only 23 years old. He is the second part of a very promising young core in Lamelo Ball and Miles Bridges, and he is somebody that I'm going to be watching closely as well, and he's looking very much like an early front runner for the Most Improved Player award. At the very least, through the first few games, he is sure as hell making a strong case. And we very well might be looking back on this season and going, that game in Brooklyn that Miles Bridges had, that was his breakout game, as he was able to score 32 points, 9 rebounds, 2 steals in 35 minutes, and he shot 56% from the field, causing Brooklyn to lose their home opener, and he absolutely put on a show under the brightest lights. Another reason why this team has looked so promising is because of their bench. I mean, they've been able to make some key additions on their second unit with guys like Ish Smith, who's a really reliable backup point guard who's been able to average 10 points a game, and he really plays a lot of selfless, high-motor basketball. He's a guy that can come off the bench, really keep the car afloat, and he can really make sure that everybody's getting involved. He's really doing the best that he can, and he's putting 110% whenever he's out on the court, and that's really all you can ask for. To me, Ish Smith is one of the strongest backup point guards that we have in this league, and to me, the fact that the Charlotte Hornets were able to get this guy on a minimum contract is an absolute steal. And then you look at other guys as well, like Cody Martin and Kelly Oubre Jr., who are putting up absolutely solid numbers. And I mean, Kelly Oubre, this guy, I'm looking at him and I'm like, man, is this a potential 6th man of the year candidate? No, but he's still good. Oubre's been putting up 16 points a game, 5 rebounds on 50% from the field goal range as well. The only thing is I wish that he would be a better 3-point shooter. He's shooting around his career average right now. He's shooting about 33% from the 3, which is not bad, but when you're shooting at as high of a volume as Kelly Oubre is, you kind of wish that he would take a little less just for the sake of efficiency, especially because when you do have a guy like that is really confident in his shot and not a whole lot of reason to be, it's kind of not the best thing. However, I'm really not too worried because he is a solid bench scorer and he really is going to be a strong addition to this Hornets roster this season. And with all that being said, that doesn't even include other guys that they have in this roster as well. I mean, you have the likes of Gordon Hayward, who's a solid 17-point-a-game scorer right now, who's an absolutely solid star, a good veteran that can bring a lot of poise to this locker room, that can help and establish a culture in Charlotte and teach these guys how to win some basketball games. And on top of that, he's still a really good scorer. People think that Gordon Hayward is washed. If you watch him play in Charlotte, you would definitely think otherwise. He might not be the all-star that he used to be, but he's definitely a solid starter in this league still. And then you talk about Mason Plumlee, who's such a solid addition right next to Lamelo Ball as far as a pick-and-roll center, and his ability to pass and play make as well is just one of the many reasons why I really love Mason Plumlee on this team. And then that's not even mentioning a guy like Terry Rozier, who is one of their better scoring guards and is one of their best players in the clutch as well. Once Terry Rozier comes back from injury, I definitely think we're going to be seeing a very fast-paced, high-scoring, dynamic offense that's only going to get better. Now, as far as where they're ranking currently at the beginning of this season, they're currently 14th in opposing points a game and 5th in points a game themselves. So they're really able to outscore their opponents and play serviceable enough defense to where they can hold a lead. Now, granted, they did blow the lead last night against the Boston Celtics, and they did lose in overtime, but their ability to hold the lead for the majority of the game, and also just that scoring attack that they do have, is just simply remarkable. However, they did let Boston get to over 140 points, which is not exactly something you want to see. And if I were to list a primary concern about this team going forward, it is their defense, because none of these guys on this team are exactly known as defensive powerhouse players. However, if they can play middle of the pack defense and still have a high tier offense with a top 5 pace in the league, you're definitely looking at a team that could be looking at their first playoff berth since 2016. Even though it's too early to make any judgments about whether or not this team is actually legit, whether or not this team is going to be a playoff team, it is easy to say that there is a bright future in Charlotte because of the fact that they are finally drafting well. They are finally getting some pieces that they can be excited about. I mean, the fact that they had Lamelo Ball fall in their laps in the top 3 is something that they are going to be blessed for a long time for. And if I'm the Golden State Warriors and the Minnesota Timberwolves, I'm kicking myself a little bit knowing that I let LaMelo slip to Charlotte. And with that, what do you think of the Charlotte Hornets? Do you think LaMelo Ball is a potential all-star this year even? I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below, but that, of course, is going to do it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you next time from Half Court. Be sure to subscribe.